Hey everyone, Jose here. Rivian just dropped 2025.22 software update. And honestly, there's a lot of little things in this one, but the biggest thing is the fact that we now have Google Maps. Let's jump right in and I'll show you what I mean. That's right, Rivian has been hard at work with Google to integrate Google Maps directly into the Rivian's navigation system. Longtime Rivian owners would know that for a while they've been using something called Mapbox along with OpenStreet Maps, and it has never been the best navigation mapping solution. Well, Rivian has just dropped this new update and they have revamped the whole navigation to be using Google Maps. We've seen pieces of Google start integrated there for a while, including Google Search Places, seeing reviews with Google, but now we have the full navigation suite with Google. I'll flip the camera around and give you a quick walkthrough. First, apologies, I forgot my tripod, so there's going to be a little bit of wobbly, but here we are. This is Google Maps, and first and foremost, you can see that there's a lot more information being displayed here, including all of these shops that I'm nearby right now. We can zoom in and see even more locations that will pop up and street names and all that. You can zoom in a little further, and if you're in some locations, you will get more information that will pop up. But here, this is a glance at the new UI. You have your new search bar here. You have quick access to your home address, your work address, as well as your favorites. You have still the same old charging navigation up there, which you can toggle on and off by clicking that if you like. And you've got Google Maps satellite view if you are a Connect Plus user. As you can tell, Google has not updated the satellite in my area because this is no longer a plot of grass, but definitely a built-out shopping plaza. So let's walk through things. First off, you can click on any of these point of interests and it will give you information on that location as well as the ability to drive there. You can hit details. We've seen this before already, where Google kind of brings in their reviews as well as photos directly from Google Places search. So you can tap on the photos, and again, based on your cellular connectivity is how long it'll take to load, but you'll get photos and all that in there. And then you can obviously navigate to that location. Otherwise, the biggest changes and improvements is obviously navigating to an actual location. So once you pull that up, you get the keyboard, you get also your favorites here. So we can say, I want to go to this restaurant here. And once it starts pulling up the navigation, you do now get live traffic information. So this is pulling directly from Google. Guys, percentage on arrival has finally arrived. So if we tap go, this will now direct us and drive us to where we need to go. You get a big, nice block here on the left side that gives you the directions to where you have to go. You can pull this down and it will give you, just like it did before, directions to where you need to go. And then as well as finally, it's going to show you when you're going to arrive, and at not only just miles, but also percentage of arrival, which is something that we've been asking for a long time. Tapping these different options down here, obviously you get end, which will end the route. You can add another waypoint to your location if you want to go somewhere in between. This will show you the full route, so you can take a look at what that looks like. And then, of course, you've got your settings here where, again, you can see your trip details, or you can customize your trip details to tell you, hey, I want to avoid highways, I want to avoid tolls, I want to arrive with a certain percentage. And of course, what we've seen before, which is like, I want to charge at specific networks. You also have the general function here where you can come in and adjust your map. Again, this should be very similar if you've ever used the Rivian navigation, but you can adjust the chimes if you want to have it talk to you, as well as how you want to display your map, if you want 2D, north up, or 3D. So that's kind of a walkthrough of that in terms of navigating out there. Now, a word of advice, if you do have voice enabled to kind of dictate where you're going, that still has not been switched over to Google. That's still using the Alexa voice that came with Rivian. So it's not the best voice, in my opinion, but I think most people, if I had to make a safe assumption, are not using voice in general to navigate. And then once you end a thing, this will pop up here. You can swipe that down. You get your favorites up here, like I mentioned before. And then, of course, no difference over here. You get your chart. You can click on the gear, and it will pull up the general information. And then charging will pop up with that. So let's zoom out just a little bit here. And let's take a peek. So here, for example, you can now see that there's an accident, and it will show you live traffic updates. Now, this isn't exactly Waze. So, a lot of people who've used Waze before will be like, oh, Waze is great because it gives you police notifications and all that. You're not going to get that here, but you're going to get alerts. And I wish you could tap that to actually give you more details, but it doesn't do that. But at least you can see that there was an accident there. Zooming further out, now we get to the charging locations, and this is kind of what I wanted to show you. I'm going to filter just by 150 kilowatts or higher, and we're going to tap here. So now this is just showing you your charging details. Again, you're used to seeing all this. You get the details here. You get your charging score that Rivian has always provided for you, and then just the number of charges and all that. So that stays the same. It now tells you that the data comes from Rivian, but the photos are from Google Maps. So that's kind of cool there. But yeah, so now you get a kind of a look at that. And yeah, this is what Google Maps look like. If we navigate over to the driver display, you can see that indeed it's the same there. And if I were to start navigating somewhere, it would immediately start showing you your route there as well and giving you the directions to where you need to go. So wonderful to see the integration there. I know a lot of people have been excited to see Google Maps, and this is a great step forward for Rivian in bringing a better navigation experience overall and a more up-to-date experience overall to the Rivian navigation. So great job, Rivian team, and I hope everybody enjoys this. For a long time, people have wondered, hey, Rivian, do you know that trailer hitch accessories exist that are not necessarily a trailer that you're towing? And so because, for a long time, Rivian owners would know that if you had any sort of attachment hooked up to the trailer hitch and you turned on trailer mode, it would pretty much turn off all driver assistance features. Well, good news, Rivian has now added an accessory mode. So if we go to towing and select accessory, this will now let you drive around with an accessory attached to your Rivian, but more importantly, it will allow you to keep your driver assistance features. So you'll be able to use your driver's cruise control and your adaptive cruise control as well. Now, note, if we go back here to the settings, I want to talk to you here and just walk through this. An accessory is defined as a vehicle attachment that does not have an axle and is not directly supported by the ground. It is your responsibility to select the correct profile when towing a trailer. Driver assistance features may not work as designed if a large electrical accessory is attached in the rear of the vehicle. So be responsible. Make sure you select the right thing. If you're towing a big trailer, don't select accessory. Make sure you select trailer. You may not have all the driver assistance features, but you have to be responsible. So that's just my 2 cents on that. More importantly, moving down from here, Go Chime has been improved in Generation 2 vehicle to now only chime at you if it detects, if the camera up here, which is here, if the camera that's in the driver display there detects that you're not paying attention to the road in front of you, it will ding at you. If you're looking at the road in front of you, but maybe you haven't started moving immediately, it will not ding at you anymore. So now it's using that driver attention detection even more. And then finally, in terms of other driver assistance improvements, when the vehicle comes to a stop, while using adaptive cruise control or highway assist is engaged, the driver assistance detection, again, the camera, will detect if you are paying attention to the road ahead, and it will now extend the period that the driver assistance feature stays enabled before pausing. If you've ever driven around in a Rivian and you're driving like on the local roads and you have just adaptive cruise control and you're at a stoplight for a very long time, sometimes the vehicle will say, hey, it's paused. Driver assist has been paused. Tap the accelerator to continue. Well, now if the vehicle detects that you're paying attention to the road in front of you, it will no longer pause it for you, and it will keep it active, which is awesome. So that's a big win there. So this is the improvements here with the driver assistance features. For Gen 2 owners, Rivian has also improved the vehicle dynamics and drive modes. So just improving and tweaking suspension, the sense of agility for different vehicle variants. They've improved the soft, medium, and firm suspension settings as well to continue making them a little bit better. I haven't noticed a huge substantial difference while driving using them, but there's subtle differences. I'm sure maybe you will experience a better difference or better or worse difference. So let me know in the comments what you think about that. But Rivian continues to tweak and make the suspension better in both the R1T and the R1S. Finally, Rivian has a bunch of additional improvements that came with .22 here. Just looking down the list here, if we can read some of them. Rivian has improved the speed at which the climate control cools down the vehicle when it's hot. Very important when it's already 95 degrees here at 10 in the morning. They've also improved the performance of remote address sharing from your iPhone or Android phone. So that should be better as well. Overall, improved the stability of the infotainment system. I gotta say, except for the initial load up. And what I mean by that is after the update has installed and you tap on the different apps, that always takes us a few seconds longer after you've installed a recent update. Beyond that point, it is substantially getting faster, which is a huge win for the infotainment. Is it where it should be? Not yet, but it's getting there, and I have faith. It's just taking longer, but we wouldn't be able to get cool features like Google Maps and stuff like that, you know, without them. I don't want to say breaking things, but like, you know, sometimes resources have to be taken and used for different things. So without me blabbering on forever here about it, all I'm saying is that it is getting better. So a huge win on that. And then they fixed just a couple of other bugs. A big one for me was in the new energy monitor tab when you would change between miles. So like it would say, hey, you have this, you're driving and it's using 35 miles in the next hour. Sometimes some people, you want to use kilowatt hours, you would tap it, but it wasn't persistent. Now it will stay persistent. So whatever you choose in terms of, units, it will stay persistent across the board. So that makes me happy. And yeah, that should be pretty much it with additional improvements. There's a couple of other things in there, but nothing really noteworthy. And that concludes a quick walkthrough of 2025.22. I tried to make this one a little bit shorter. I know a lot of people say that I ramble on sometimes, so I don't mean to do that, but I get excited about these things and I can talk about it forever, just like I'm doing now. So anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Remember, as usual, Rivian rolls these software updates out in batches, so you will not get it immediately. It may take a couple of days, a week or two even. If you have Connect Plus, you'll get it faster. But this video does a good job of explaining what you're going to get yourself into as the Rivian update rolls out. If you have any feedback, comments, concerns, leave them in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe to Rivian Tracker. I appreciate everyone. And every time you watch these videos, it makes me really excited to know that I can keep doing this and you'll watch it. Thanks as usual to the Rivian team for letting me take a peek at this software before it was released to everybody. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.